Well, Internet. Here we are again with another Dr. Dreadful Zombie Lab concoction. In my last video, if you haven't watched it, make sure you did, or do, we had a fun time making zombie barf, which I taste tested. Made me want to barf myself. This time I came prepared with my own beverage because we are not doing a drink this time. Instead, we are going to be doing bugs. We are going to make zombie bugs. That is a worm and a spider here on our zombie lab man, and hopefully it won't be too hard. In fact, it looks like we have a similar process to making the zombie skin. Again, make sure you check out that video if you like, but pretty much we are just going to mix some of the correct powder here, if I can find it. Those are brain mixes. We have a bug mix. We're going to save the brain mix for last. Be sure to stay tuned for that fun video. But for now, we have our bug mix. It's going to make that spider and worm. We need to mix, let's see, 2 level scoops of bug mix into our little bug juice container. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, our last videos had some different flavors. We had cherry, I think what was green apple. I'm not positive though. So let's see what this is. Now, kind of smells like cherry again, but it's white. So let's see. We need 2 level scoops. 1, 2. All right, 2 level scoops. Of course, I'm doing that, behind this. You can't even see it. So let's make some more room here. There we go. Our 2 level scoops. What else do we need to do here? Now, 3 level scoops of warm water. Went ahead and prepared that for us. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3. All right, that doesn't seem to make a whole lot. Let's go ahead and give it a stir, which happens to be step number 2. All right. Actually, I lied. That's the second part of step number 1. I'm gonna guess maybe this is supposed to be strawberry. It's more of a pinkish instead of a red. Watermelon. Maybe it's watermelon. Who knows? That will give you any indication as to what these flavors are. But we've got a tiny amount of goo here. All right, now we need to use our plunger injector mechanism. Place finger under the nozzle. All right, rather than like suck up the liquid as one might expect, we have to put our finger on the end and pour the liquid into the injector. And we need to hurry before it starts to set. Well, that tiny amount of liquid does seem to be like the perfect amount here. But once I start with putting this thing in, it's all gonna squeeze out. Oh, great. All right, this is gonna be messy. Now, it has suggested that we try and squeeze the goo into the molds while it's still on the face, and then take the molds off and put them in the fridge. Well, that doesn't seem to make much sense. So we are going to take the molds off first, cheat a little bit, and see what happens. All right, so this is the worm mold. Let's go ahead and just put the thing here, squeeze it. Oh, it fills up. Actually, it fills pretty easily, so that's nice. We'll just set that aside. And then we will take off the spider mold. Clearly, this little bit of liquid is going to make quite a few of these. There we go. Now, the next step is to take our molds and pop them in the fridge for 10 minutes. All right, it has been 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at our zombie molds. I've gone ahead and popped them in here just to give you an idea. You can compare it to the box. Let's go ahead and see how easily they come out. So there again, you can see the worm, the spider. It's not quite as dramatic as it shows here in the box, but it's not awful. So let's go ahead and see about the worm first. See how this thing opens up. Ew. Okay. That is actually pretty cool and gross. All right, let's go ahead and sit the worm down here and try the spider. The spider kind of oozed out the sides a little bit, but when we pop him open, oh, gross. Ugh. Will it focus? Anyway. The spider is pretty cool. It has that texture, that sort of jelly consistency of those fake spiders that you can get around Halloween, and that is really fun and gross. All right, you know what time it is. It is time to give these disgusting things a taste test. Now, my fingers are so sticky. Oh, they don't want to come apart when I press them together from touching these things. And I haven't cleaned out that dish yet, and I know from the last one it's going to be a nightmare to clean. I actually thought that these bug mixes were going to be like the boring letdown of the lab, but actually I think they're kind of the coolest thing so far, because it's squishy and gross, just like a worm. I can totally see how the kids would really like this one the most. Though it's starting to come apart all in my hand, so better go ahead and give it a taste test real quick, huh? It is the exact same consistency and texture of the zombie skin, which is very jello-like. So it's not my cup of tea, but in these small quantities, like that little worm that I ate, I think it was acceptable. I'm going to go ahead and eat this spider now, and let's see how it tastes. Because that jello-y nature, how it kind of falls apart in bits in your mouth, ugh, it's gross, but wonderful. And I'm actually kind of impressed with the little worm making thing. Now, it looks like there is enough in this little injector mold to make 2 more. Let's go ahead and try it real quick. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but I just want to see how much of this is left over. And it's so much fun to squeeze the goo in here and watch it fill up. That's really satisfying. I think kids will enjoy doing that. And there's, ooh, but if you squeeze too hard, it's gonna pop right out the sides, but that's okay. Kids are gonna make a mess with these. It's fun, but there you go. It's almost exactly, you get 2 each of the spider and the worm with your little 1 batch. I don't think we talked about the calories here. That mix is actually kind of tasty by itself. Once it sets up though, it's kind of gross. Let's see here. The bug candy mix is about 20 calories per serving, which I think this, what we just made, is 1 serving. And there's about 13 servings in the box. So, you know, the box lets you have 40 treats. This is probably a good portion of them, but this is probably, like I said, what the kids are going to like the most. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to wash my hands, pour myself another glass of happiness to forget all of this fun laboratory stuff. So there's only one more thing we have to do, and that is the, what is it, the bubbling brains. So stay tuned for the next video where we explore the bubbling brains and call it a day on the Zombie Lab. Although they do have those expansion packs. So I'm contemplating getting those. I know one of them is like a bug parasite lab, which I'm sure is exactly the same thing as this sort of thing. But who knows what else they have. We're going to have to take a look. So stay tuned till then. Have a good night, everybody. Bon appetit.